Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're building something for the operators, the Pentesters, anyone who lives in the commands line. We're going to build a terminal productivity pack that puts speed, safety, and silence above everything else. All right, let's just let this one sink in for a second. This just hits home, right? We have all been there. You're in the zone, deep in a state of flow, and then suddenly your main tool, the terminal, gets in the way. It pulls you right out, making you think about the tool itself instead of the actual task. It's a total momentum killer. And these are the questions that do it. Which host am I on? Wait, am I root? Did that last command even work? Why is my terminal stuttering? It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. Each one of these little questions is a context switch that yanks you out of your focus and can lead to some really big mistakes. It's not just annoying, it's a genuine liability. So let's actually define what we're up against here. We're talking about the treacherous terminal. It's this idea that your most important tool, the one that's supposed to give you superpowers, is quietly working against you. It feels less like a tool and more like a minefield of wrong turns. I mean, check this out. This is such a classic self-own, right? Your prompt looks all clean and minimalist, but it's totally useless when you actually need information. It's like having a GPS that just says, "You're on a road." Thanks for nothing. And look, the problem isn't that your terminal is inherently slow. ZSH itself is amazing, it's super powerful. The real problem is that it's overloaded. We just pile stuff on top of it, Heavy themes with all these fancy glyphs and way too many plugins. Each one adds a tiny bit of lag and it all adds up. And this creates what we can call a hidden tax. See, a prompt might feel lightning fast on your local machine, but the second you SSH into a remote server, especially over a laggy connection, oh man, that same speedy prompt can turn your workflow into a painful, stuttering mess. It really is death by 1,000 tiny weights. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's start talking about the solution. And it all begins with a really simple but powerful philosophy for your prompt. We're going to talk about the operator's rule. Here it is. Just read that again. This one rule changes everything. It means your prompt isn't just for decoration anymore. It's a critical safety tool. Its only job is to scream the truth at you before your brain has a chance to make a bad assumption. So what does that look like in practice? Well, it boils down to these 4 critical signals. These are the non-negotiables. First, host context. Am I local or remote? Simple. Second, user context. Am I root right now? Super important. Third, exit status. Did my last command actually succeed or fail? And fourth, git state, so I don't commit chaos. Your prompt has to answer these questions instantly. Okay, so how do we build this thing? It's not about one magic theme or plugin. It's a framework, and it's built on 4 key pillars of speed. Pillar number 1 is all about your theme philosophy. And the choice is pretty stark. Are you building something that's jump host safe or just for your local machine only? You gotta treat your theme like a tool, not a decoration. Go for minimal ASCII, something with 0 font dependencies, because those fancy Powerline fonts and nerd font glyphs, they will break on that one random server you have to log into. You want fast and readable everywhere, not just pretty on your laptop. And this quote just nails it. We've all done this, right? You blame the VPN, you blame the Wi-Fi, but no, the call is coming from inside the house. It's your bloated prompt. Pillar number 2 is restraint. The number of plugins you use should be 3 or less. Seriously. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a discipline. Be ruthless about it. So if you're only going to pick a few, what do you choose? Well, you pick the ones that give you a massive return on investment every single day. Things like auto-completion, that makes you faster at literally everything. Auto-suggestions, so you're not retyping the same long commands. And syntax highlighting, to catch your typos before you hit enter. This is the must-have trio. They earn their keep. All right, pillar number 3 is a startup budget. You have to actually measure this stuff. Check out this chart. Locally, your prompt might load in, say, 150 milliseconds. Feels instant. But over a remote SSH connection, bam, 800 milliseconds. That's almost a full second of just waiting. That's where the lag really shows its ugly face. You have to measure it, and you have to tune for that worst-case scenario. And that brings us to pillar number 4, portability. And this is so important. You have to build your setup for your worst machine, not your best one. Because one day you're going to be on some random bare-bones server, and your fancy, fragile config is just going to fall apart. And that's the day you really need it to work.
Okay, that's the theory. So let's get practical. Let's build your V1 pack. This is a low-friction challenge you can literally do right now, in the next 20 minutes.
So here are the steps. 1. Pick a minimal ASCII-safe theme. 2. Add 3 max of those daily use plugins we talked about. 3. Create 5 simple aliases for commands you type all the time. 4. Actually benchmark your time to prompt. And 5. Commit this. Save it as your last known good config. The goal here isn't perfection. It's about building a reliable baseline, a tool you can trust when you're tired, when you're under pressure, and you just need it to work. And as you're doing this, just remember, your best machine isn't the judge. Your worst machine is. That clunky VM, that laggy jump host, that's your real test environment. If your prompt is snappy and useful there, it'll be amazing everywhere else. So that leaves us with one final question to think about. Look at your terminal right now. Is it an asset or is it a liability? Does it help you prevent mistakes or does it quietly create them? The answer? Well, that's up to you.